Dr. Maria Santos stared at the screen in front of her. The numbers made no sense. She rubbed her eyes and looked again. The same impossible readings glowed back at her from the computer display. The medical lab on the USS Horizon was quiet except for the soft hum of machines. Maria had been working alone for 3 hours, running routine blood tests on the crew. It was standard procedure for long space missions. Check everyone's health, make sure no one was getting sick, file the reports. Simple work that usually took. Her mind off being so far from Earth. But today was different. Today the scanner had found something that should not exist. She picked up the blood sample from Jake Morrison, the ship's captain. The red liquid looked normal in the small glass tube. Nothing special about it. Just human blood like any other. But when she put it under the advanced molecular scanner, the machine had detected traces of an unknown element. Maria ran the test again. Same result. The element was there, floating in the captain's bloodstream like it belonged there. According to every science book she had ever read, this element could not exist. It was too unstable, too dangerous to survive outside the heart of a dying star. She labeled the element Volatile in her notes and moved on to the next sample. Lisa Park, the ship's navigator, had the same element in her blood. So did Bobby Chun, the chief engineer, and Danny Rodriguez from communications. Every human sample showed traces of volatile flowing through their veins. Maria's hands shook as she processed the 20th sample. The results were always the same. Every person on the ship carried this impossible element in their blood. How was this possible? More importantly, why were they all still alive? The lab door slid open with a soft hiss. Captain Morrison stepped inside, looking tired after his shift on the bridge. He was a tall man with graying hair and kind eyes. Most of the crew respected him because he treated everyone fairly. "How are the medical checks going, Doc?" he asked. Settling into a chair beside her workstation, Maria turned to face him, her mind racing. How could she explain this? "Captain, I need to show you something. It's about the blood tests." Morrison leaned forward, his expression growing serious. "Problems with the crew?" "Not exactly." Maria pulled up the test results on her main screen. Every person on this ship has an unknown element in their blood, something that shouldn't exist according to current science. The captain studied the display, frowning. "Equipment malfunction? That's what I thought at first. I ran the tests 3 times on different machines. Same results every time." Maria highlighted the volatile readings. "This element is supposed to be impossible to contain. It should destroy anything it touches, but it's stable inside human blood." Morrison stood up and walked to the window that looked out at the stars. "Could this be dangerous to the crew?" "I don't know. Everyone seems healthy. Actually, everyone seems healthier than normal. Heart rates are strong. Immune systems are perfect. Brain activity is higher than average." Maria saved her data and turned back to the captain. "Sir, I think we need to contact Earth about this. A message to Earth will take months to reach." "Them," Morrison said, "and months more to get a reply." "We're on our own out here." Maria nodded. She had expected this answer. The USS Horizon was exploring the far edge of known space, further from Earth than any human ship had gone before. They were alone with whatever this discovery meant. "Keep studying this," Morrison ordered. "Find out everything you can about this element. And Maria, keep this between us for now. No need to worry the crew until we know more." Over the next few days, Maria worked without rest. She studied the volatile in every way she could think of. The element seemed to respond to the person's emotional state. When crew members were stressed, the levels went up. When they were calm, the levels went down. It was like the element was connected to their feelings. She also noticed that people with higher volatile levels seemed to perform better at their jobs. Lisa Park, who had the highest readings, never made mistakes when plotting their course. Through space. Bobby Chun, with the second highest levels, could fix any machine problem in half the time it should take. Late one evening, Maria sat alone in the lab, staring at her research. The implications were staggering. If volantium was truly the most volatile element in the universe, and humans carried it naturally in their blood, what did that make humanity? She thought about Earth, so far away. Did every person on their home planet carry this element? Had humans always been different from other life forms in the galaxy? Were they unique in ways they never understood? The computer chimed softly, indicating an incoming message. Maria looked at the screen and saw a priority alert from the ship's sensors. They had detected an unknown vessel approaching their position. First contact protocols were now in effect. Maria gathered her research files and headed for the bridge. Whatever was about to happen, she had a feeling that their discovery of volantium would change everything. The universe was about to learn that humans were not what they seemed to be. As she walked through the corridors of the USS Horizon, Maria wondered if carrying the most volatile element in the universe made humans dangerous, or if it made them something else entirely, something the galaxy had never seen before. The bridge doors opened in front of her, and she stepped into humanity's future. The bridge of the USS Horizon buzzed with activity. Captain Morrison stood at the center, watching the main screen as an alien ship grew larger. The vessel was unlike anything they had seen before. It was sleek and silver, with strange curves that seemed to flow like water frozen in time. Distance? Morrison asked. 5,000 kilometers in closing, replied Lisa Park from her navigation station. Her fingers danced across the controls as she tracked the alien ship's movement. Dr. Maria Santos stood near the science station, her research files clutched in her hands. 3 weeks had passed since her discovery of volantium in human blood. She had spent every day studying the element, learning its secrets. Now, as humanity prepared for first contact with an alien species, she wondered if her discovery would matter. "Captain," called Danny Rodriguez from the communications station, "I'm receiving a signal from the alien vessel. It's badly damaged." "They're requesting assistance." Morrison nodded. "Put it on screen." The main display flickered, and suddenly they were looking at an alien face. The creature had large, dark eyes and pale blue skin. Its features were delicate, almost bird-like. When it spoke, the ship's computer translated its words into English. "This is Science Commander Vex Thara of the Zephyrian Collective. Our ship has suffered critical damage to our life support systems. We require immediate assistance. This is Captain Jake Morrison of the USS Horizon. We'll help you. Prepare for boarding." The alien's expression seemed to show relief. "Thank you. We will transmit our biological data for safety protocols." Maria stepped forward. "Captain, we should also send our biological information. It's standard procedure for first contact." Morrison looked at her, remembering her discovery. "Is that wise, given what you found?" "The volantium levels are stable. There's no danger to them," Maria assured him. "Very well. Danny, transmit our biological scans." Rodriguez worked at his station, sending the data across space to the alien ship. For a moment, everything seemed normal. Then the alien's face on the screen changed. Its large eyes widened in what could only be described as terror. "By the sacred stars," Vex Thara whispered, "you are volantium carriers." The alien's image disappeared from the screen. Immediately, the Zephyrian ship began moving away from the USS Horizon at maximum speed. "They're running," Lisa Park reported. "Full retreat." Danny Rodriguez looked confused. "Captain, I'm receiving multiple emergency broadcasts from their ship. They're transmitting to ... everywhere. The whole galaxy." Morrison's jaw tightened. "What are they saying?" The computer is having trouble with the translation, but it keeps using words like contamination and danger and quarantine. Danny's voice grew worried. Sir, I think they're warning other species about us. Maria felt her heart sink. Captain, we need to stop them. We need to explain. Danny, open a channel to their ship. I'm trying, sir. They're not responding to our calls. On the screen, they watched the alien vessel charge its jump drive. Within seconds, it disappeared into hyperspace, leaving the USS Horizon alone in space. The bridge fell silent. Everyone understood what had just happened. Humanity's first contact with an alien species had gone terribly wrong. And it was all because of what Maria had found in their blood. Maria, Morrison said quietly, tell me everything you know about this Volatile. Maria moved to the main console and brought up her research. It's an element that exists only in the cores of dying stars. According to galactic physics, it should be impossible to contain. Any contact with normal matter should cause massive explosions. But it's stable in human blood, Morrison said. Completely stable. More than that, it seems to be beneficial. It enhances our immune systems, increases cognitive function, and appears to improve our ability to handle stress. Bobby Chun, who had been quietly listening from the engineering station, spoke up. Doc, if this stuff is so dangerous, why can humans carry it safely? I don't know, Maria admitted. We might be the only species in the galaxy that can safely contain Volatile. That could make us unique. Or it could make us a threat, Morrison said grimly. Over the next several hours, they monitored communications from across the galaxy. The Zephyrian emergency broadcast had reached dozens of species. The ship's computer struggled to translate the flood of alien languages, but the message was clear. Humanity had been identified as carriers of the most dangerous substance in the known universe. Dr. Kevin Walsh, the ship's medical officer, joined Maria in the lab to study the Volatile samples. He was a thin man with gentle hands and a curious mind. Together, they worked to understand why humans were different. Look at this, Kevin said, pointing to a molecular scan. The Volatile isn't just sitting in our blood. It's integrated into our cellular structure. It's part of what makes us human. Maria studied the data. How long have humans carried this element? Could be thousands of years. Maybe from the very beginning of our species. That would explain a lot, Maria said. Human adaptability, our ability to survive in harsh conditions, our rapid technological development. What if Volatile is the reason humans are so successful? Their conversation was interrupted by an urgent call from the bridge. Morrison's voice came through the speakers. All senior staff to the bridge. We have a problem. Maria and Kevin rushed to the bridge, where they found the crew staring at the main screen. It showed a tactical display of the local star system. Red dots were appearing at the edge of the system. Dozens of them. Alien ships, Lisa Park reported. Multiple species. All converging on our position. How many? Morrison asked. 67 vessels so far, with more arriving every hour. Danny Rodriguez looked up from his station. Captain, I'm receiving transmissions from Earth. Alien fleets have appeared at the edge of our solar system. They're demanding that all humans surrender for what they call protective containment. Maria felt the weight of her discovery crushing down on her. Because she had found Volatile in human blood, the entire galaxy now viewed humanity as a threat. Every person on Earth was in danger. Sir, Kevin said, there's something else. The Volatile levels in the crew are rising. It's responding to our stress. Morrison looked at his crew, these brave men and women who had volunteered to explore the unknown. Now they were all that stood between humanity and possible extinction. We need to find a way to prove that we're not dangerous, Morrison decided. Maria, I want you to prepare a complete report on Volatile. Everything you've learned. Maybe we can make them understand. Captain, Lisa Park said, one of the alien ships is approaching. It's requesting permission to board. Morrison stood, straight, preparing to face whatever came next. Grant permission. It's time to show them what humanity really is. As the alien boarding party prepared to come aboard, Maria wondered if her discovery would doom humanity or save it. The answer would determine the fate of every human in the galaxy. The alien boarding party consisted of 3 beings unlike anything the crew of the USS Horizon had ever seen. They wore heavy armor that covered their entire bodies, and their helmets had multiple eyepieces that glowed with different colors. When they spoke, their voices were processed through mechanical translators that gave them an emotionless tone. I am Enforcer Prime Korath of the Hegemony Fleet, the lead alien announced as he stepped onto the bridge. You will surrender immediately. For processing. Captain Morrison stood his ground. We are explorers, not criminals. We've done nothing wrong. You exist, Korath replied. That is crime enough. Your species carries the death element. You are a threat to all life in the galaxy. Dr. Maria Santos stepped forward, her research. Files in hand, we can explain. The element is stable in human physiology. We pose no danger to anyone. Korath's helmet turned toward her. Impossible. Volatile destroys everything it touches. Your very presence here proves you are either lying or you are something far worse than we imagined. The tension on the bridge was thick enough to cut. Maria could feel her heart racing, and she knew the volatile levels in her blood were rising in response to her stress. She wondered if the aliens could detect it somehow. Give us a chance to prove our intentions, Morrison sighed. We're willing to submit to any reasonable testing. There will be no testing, Korath declared. The Galactic Council has already decided. All humans must be contained until a permanent solution can be found. Danny Rodriguez looked up from his communication station. Captain, I'm receiving a transmission from Earth. It's Ambassador Helen Cooper. Put her through, Morrison ordered. The main screen showed a woman in her 50s with gray hair and determined eyes. She was sitting in what appeared to be a formal meeting room, but her face showed the strain of recent events. Jake, can you hear me? Helen's voice was tight with worry. We hear you, Ambassador. What's the situation on Earth? Not good. The Galactic Council called an emergency session. 12 major species are represented, and they're all terrified of us. They're calling it the Volatile Crisis. Helen glanced at something off-screen. They're debating whether to quarantine humanity or eliminate us entirely. Maria felt the blood drain from her face. Eliminate us? 3 species have already voted for immediate action. They believe humans are too dangerous to be allowed to exist. Helen's image flickered as the transmission wavered. I'm trying to buy time, but I need something to work with. Some proof that we're not a threat. Korath stepped closer to the screen. Ambassador Cooper, I presume. You will order your species to surrender peacefully. Any resistance will be met with force. Helen's expression hardened. I don't take orders from you, Enforcer. Humanity has rights under galactic law. Galactic law does not apply to plague carriers, Korath replied. The transmission cut off suddenly. Danny worked frantically at his controls, but couldn't re-establish contact. They're jamming our communications, he reported. Meanwhile, Dr. Kevin Walsh had been quietly working at a side console, running continuous scans of the crew. He caught Maria's attention and gestured for her to join him. Look at this, he whispered, showing her the readings. The volatile levels in everyone on the ship are increasing. But look at the patterns. Maria studied the data. The element wasn't just randomly increasing. It was responding to specific emotions and situations. When crew members felt determined or protective, the levels spiked. When they felt hopeless or defeated, the levels dropped. It's like the Voluntium is connected to our will to survive, she realized. There's more, Kevin continued. I've been monitoring the ship's systems. Our reactor efficiency is up 12%. Our computers are processing data faster than they should be able to. It's like the Voluntium is enhancing our technology too. Bobby Chun, who had been listening from the engineering station, looked up in surprise. That would explain some weird readings I've been getting. The ship's been performing better than specs for weeks. Maria's mind raced. What if Voluntium isn't just safe in human blood? What if it makes us better? Stronger, smarter, more capable? That would make you even more dangerous, Korath interjected. The alien had been listening to their conversation. A species that grows stronger through the death element cannot be allowed to spread through the galaxy. We're not spreading anything, Morrison argued. We're exploring. We're trying to learn and grow by carrying the most volatile substance in the universe through space. Korath's helmet turned red with what might have been anger. Your ship could explode at any moment, destroying everything within light years. But it hasn't, Maria said. We've been in space for months. The Voluntium is stable. We're not dangerous. You say this now. But what happens when your species grows larger? When millions of humans spread through the galaxy? The risk is too great. Lisa Park suddenly called out from her station. Captain, long-range sensors are detecting massive fleet movements. Ships from across the galaxy are heading toward the core worlds. The Galactic Council is mobilizing, Korath confirmed. Every species is preparing for war if necessary. War against us? Morrison couldn't hide his shock. War against the Voluntium threat. Your species just happens to be the carriers. Maria felt desperation growing inside her. Everything she had discovered, everything she had learned about Voluntium, was being twisted into a reason for humanity's destruction. The element that might be the key to human success was about to become the cause of their extinction. There has to be another way, she said. Give us time to study this further, to prove that we're not a threat. Time is what we do not have. Korath replied. Every moment your species exists, the risk grows greater. Tony Martinez, the ship's communications specialist, looked up from his station. Captain, I'm picking up chatter from the alien fleets. They're arguing among themselves about how to handle us. What kind of arguments? Morrison asked. Some want to destroy us immediately. Others want to study us first. A few are saying we should be captured and used as weapons. The idea of humans being used as weapons because of their Voluntium-enhanced blood was terrifying. Maria realized that no matter what happened, humanity's future in the galaxy would never be the same. Korath, Morrison said, what would it take to convince the Galactic Council that we're not a threat? The alien was quiet for a long moment. Nothing. The risk is too great. The decision has already been made. Then we'll have to prove them wrong, Morrison decided. Maria, I want you to prepare a complete presentation on Voluntium. Everything you've learned. If we're going to face the Galactic Council, we need to be ready. Maria nodded, but she wondered if any amount of scientific evidence would be enough to overcome the galaxy's fear of humanity. As she looked around the bridge at her crewmates, she realized that they might be the only thing standing between Earth and destruction. The fate of the entire human species now rested in the hands of one small ship and its crew of Voluntium carriers. The USS Horizon drifted through space, surrounded by alien warships. Captain Morrison stood on the bridge, watching the tactical display as more vessels arrived each hour. The hegemony fleet now numbered over 200 ships, all pointed at his small exploration vessel. Captain, Lisa Park called from her navigation station. 3 hegemony fighters are approaching. They're demanding we prepare for boarding. Morrison looked at his crew. These brave men and women had volunteered for exploration, not war. Now they were all that stood between humanity and possible extinction. All hands, battle stations, Morrison ordered. We're not going down without a fight. Bobby Chun's voice came through the speakers from the engine room. Captain, I'm seeing something strange down here. The ship's systems are running better than they ever have. It's like the Voluntium is making everything work more efficiently. Dr. Maria Santos looked up from her science station. Bobby's right. I've been monitoring the crew's biological readings. The Voluntium levels are higher than ever, but everyone's performance is improving dramatically. What do you mean? Morrison asked. Reaction times are faster. Thinking is clearer. Physical strength is up 20% across the board. Maria's fingers flew over her controls as she analyzed the data. It's like the stress of the situation is making the Voluntium work harder. Rachel Green, the ship's pilot, suddenly spoke up. Captain, those fighters are moving into attack position. Permission to take evasive action. Granted. What happened? Next amazed everyone on the bridge. Rachel's hands moved across the flight controls with impossible speed and precision. The USS Horizon twisted and turned through space like a dancer, avoiding the alien weapons with moves that should have been impossible for a ship of its size. How did you do that? Morrison asked, staring at the display. Rachel looked just as surprised as everyone else. I don't know. It felt like I could see exactly where they were going to shoot before they did it. Like I was connected to the ship somehow. Bobby Chun's voice came through the speakers again. Captain, the engine efficiency just jumped another 15%. Whatever Rachel is doing, the ship loves it. Dr. Kevin Walsh, who had been monitoring the crew's medical readings, called out excitedly. The Voluntium levels are off the charts, but everyone's vital signs are perfect. Better than perfect, actually. Maria realized what was happening. The Voluntium isn't just stable in human blood. It's responding to our needs. When we're in danger, it makes us better. Faster, stronger, smarter. You mean it's making us superhuman? Morrison asked. Not superhuman. Just more human than we've ever been before. The alien fighters regrouped and came at them again. This time, Pete Johnson at the weapons station was ready. His targeting solutions were perfect, his timing flawless. The USS Horizon's defensive systems worked like they had been designed by gods instead of engineers. Direct hit on Fighter 1, Pete reported. Their shields are down. Warning shots only, Morrison ordered. We're not here to start a war. But the aliens didn't see it that way. More ships moved in, trying to surround the human vessel. That's when Tony Martinez made his own discovery. Captain, I'm intercepting their communications, but I'm not using the translation computer. I'm somehow understanding their language directly. Morrison stared at his communications officer. That's impossible. I know it is. But I can hear what they're saying. They're confused. They can't understand how we're moving so fast or thinking so clearly. They think we're using some kind of advanced technology they've never seen before. Maria's excitement grew. Don't you see? The Voluntium isn't just making us carry a dangerous element. It's making us into something new, something better. As if to prove her point, Danny Rodriguez suddenly called out from his station. Captain, I'm detecting a massive energy buildup in the Hegemony command ship. They're charging some kind of super weapon. Time to impact? Morrison asked. 30 seconds. Lisa Park's voice was calm and confident. I can get us out of here, Captain. I can see the path through their formation. It's like a puzzle, and I can see every piece. Do it. The USS Horizon shot forward, weaving between alien ships with impossible precision. Weapons fire lit up the space around them, but Rachel's piloting kept them safe. In less than 10 seconds, they had broken through the alien formation and were racing toward open space. Incredible, Morrison breathed. How did we do that? The Voluntium, Maria said. It's not just enhancing our bodies. It's enhancing our Minds, our ability to process information, to see patterns, to react faster than should be possible. Amy Foster, the ship's biochemist, looked up from her research station. Maria, look at this. The Volantium isn't just floating in our blood, it's integrated into our neural pathways. It's part of how we think. That would explain the enhanced cognitive abilities, Maria agreed. But why only humans? Why are we the only species that can safely carry Volantium? Maybe we're not the only ones, Morrison said thoughtfully. Maybe we're just the first ones the galaxy has encountered. The alien pursuit continued, but the USS Horizon stayed ahead of them easily. Every member of the crew was performing at levels they had never achieved before. It was like they had been holding back their whole lives without knowing it. "Captain," Rachel called out, "I'm seeing something on long-range sensors." "It's big. Really big." The main screen showed a massive object approaching their position. It was larger than any ship they had ever seen, and it was moving faster than anything that Psi should be able to move. "What is it?" Morrison asked. "Unknown," Lisa replied. "But it's not showing on any of our star charts. It's like it appeared out of nowhere." Bobby Chun's voice came through the speakers, filled with excitement. "Captain, the engine readings are incredible. We're running at 130% efficiency. The ship is practically singing." Dr. Walsh looked up from his medical console. "The crew's biological readings are off the scale. Everyone's operating at peak human performance." "No, beyond peak human performance." Maria stared at the data flowing across her screen. What if this is what humans are supposed to be? What if the Volantium has been waiting for the right moment to activate? To make us into what we were always meant to become? "You mean evolution?" Morrison asked. "Accelerated evolution. The Volantium responds to stress, to danger, to the need to survive. Maybe it's been preparing us for something like this." The massive object on the screen suddenly changed course, heading directly for the USS Horizon. At the same time, the alien pursuit ships began pulling back as if they were afraid of whatever was approaching. "Captain," Tony Martinez said, his voice filled with wonder, "I'm receiving a transmission from that object. But it's not in any language I've ever heard. It's pure thought, pure meaning." "What is it saying?" Morrison asked. Tony's eyes went wide. "It's saying ... welcome home." The crew of the USS Horizon stared at the screen as the massive object drew closer. Whatever it was, it seemed to be connected to the Volantium in their blood, and it was treating them like long-lost family. Maria realized that their discovery of Volantium had been just the beginning. Humanity wasn't just carrying a dangerous element in their blood. They were carrying the key to their own destiny. The question was, what would they do with it? The massive object filled the view screen of the USS Horizon. It was not a ship, Captain Morrison realized, but something far more ancient and powerful. Its surface rippled with energy patterns that seemed to pulse in rhythm with the Volantium. "In their blood." "Captain," Tony Martinez said, his voice trembling with awe, "it's not just communicating with us. It's communicating through us, through the Volantium." Dr. Maria Santos watched her instruments in amazement. The Volantium levels in the crew are synchronizing with the object. It's like they're resonating together. Suddenly, the space around them began to change. Reality itself seemed to bend and twist. The stars stretched into long lines of light, and the fabric of space-time rippled like water. "What's happening?" Morrison demanded. "It's a quantum storm." Maria gasped, reading her instruments. The object is creating a massive distortion in space-time. If it continues, it will tear apart the entire star system. The hegemony ships, which had been pursuing them, suddenly found themselves caught in the expanding storm. Their engines failed as the quantum distortion overwhelmed their systems. General Korath's voice came through the communication system, filled with panic. Human vessel, what have you done? Your presence has awakened something that should have remained dormant. We didn't do anything, Morrison replied. We're just as surprised as you are. But even as he spoke, Morrison realized that wasn't entirely true. The ancient object had called them welcome home. It had been waiting for them, waiting for humans with Volunteum in their blood to find it. Dr. Kevin Walsh looked up from his medical console. Captain, the crew's Volunteum levels are going critical. But instead of being dangerous, they're becoming more stable. It's like the quantum storm is organizing the elements somehow. Rachel Green, still at the pilot's station, suddenly spoke up. Captain, I can feel it. The storm. It's not random. It has a pattern. And I think I know how to stop it. How? Morrison asked. We need to use our Volunteum as a stabilizing force. All of us together. The element in our blood can calm the storm, but only if we work as one. Maria understood immediately. She's right. The Volunteum responds to our emotions, our intentions. If we focus together, we might be able to control it. But the risk, Morrison said, if we're wrong, we could make things worse. Captain, Lisa Park called out, the alien ships are losing structural integrity. They'll be destroyed within minutes if we don't do something. Morrison looked around the bridge at his crew. These brave men and women had already proven they were capable of incredible things. Now they were being asked to risk everything to save the very aliens who wanted to destroy them. Bobby, Morrison called to the engine room. Can you create a resonance field using the ship's systems? Already. Working on it, Captain. The ship's practically begging me to do it. It's like she knows what we need. Amy Foster looked up from her station. The biochemical readings are incredible. The Volunteum in our blood is acting like a living computer, processing quantum calculations that our minds couldn't handle alone. All right, everyone, Morrison said, his voice calm and determined. We're going to attempt something that's never been done before. We're going to use the Volunteum in our blood to stabilize a quantum storm. Rachel, you're our guide. Tell us what to do. Rachel closed her eyes and placed her hands on the flight controls. I need everyone to focus on the storm. Not on stopping it, but on understanding it. The Volunteum will do the rest. The crew of the USS Horizon joined their minds and hearts in a way they had never experienced before. The Volunteum in their blood began to pulse in unison, creating a bioresonance field that extended throughout the ship. It's working, Maria breathed, watching her instruments. The quantum distortions are stabilizing. The ancient object in space began to glow brighter, and its energy patterns synchronized with the human bioresonance. Slowly, the quantum storm began to calm. The twisted spacetime started to return to normal. Structural integrity returning. To alien vessels, Pete Johnson reported. They're going to make it. As the storm subsided, the massive object began to fade. But before it disappeared completely, Tony Martinez received one final transmission. It's saying goodbye, he reported. And it's saying, thank you. It's been waiting for guardians who could calm the quantum storms that threaten the galaxy. It's been waiting for humans. The object vanished, leaving only normal space behind. The USS Horizon floated peacefully, surrounded by the alien ships they had just saved. General Korth's voice came through the communication system, but this time it was different. The mechanical coldness was gone, replaced by something that sounded almost like wonder. Human vessel, we have witnessed something beyond our understanding. You risked your lives to save us, the very beings who came to destroy you. It was the right thing to do, Morrison replied simply. Your species carries the death element in your blood, yet you use it to preserve life. This is not possible according to our science. Dr. Maria Santos stepped forward. General, the Volunteum isn't a death element. It's a life element, It doesn't destroy. It enhances. It makes us better than we were. You have proven this today, Korath acknowledged. The Galactic Council will need to reconsider everything we believed about your species. Over the next several hours, representatives from a dozen alien species came aboard the USS Horizon. They studied the crew, examined the Volatile research, and tried to understand how humans could safely carry an element that their science said was impossible to contain. Ambassador Helen Cooper's image appeared on the main screen, her face showing relief and amazement. Jake, the entire galaxy is talking about what you did. The Galactic Council has called an emergency vote. For the first time in recorded history, they're considering granting immediate full membership to a new species. Morrison felt a weight lift from his shoulders. What changed their minds? You saved an entire star system. More than that, you saved the lives of beings who came to destroy you. The Council is beginning to understand that humanity's connection to Volantium makes you protectors, not destroyers. Dr. Maria Santos stepped into view of the screen. Ambassador, I've been studying the quantum storm. I believe there are others like it scattered throughout the galaxy. Natural disasters that only Volantium-enhanced beings can stop. Helen nodded. That's exactly what the Council is thinking. They're calling it the Guardian Protocol. The idea is that humans would serve as the galaxy's first line of defense against quantum disasters. So instead of being feared as a threat, we'd be valued as protectors, Morrison said. More than that, you'd be essential. General Korath's massive form appeared beside Morrison on the bridge. The alien had removed his helmet, revealing a face that was more insect-like than human, but his large compound eyes showed genuine respect. Captain Morrison, Korath said formally, the hegemony wishes to offer an official apology to your species. We acted out of fear and ignorance. Today you showed us what true strength looks like. Apology accepted, General, Morrison replied. We understand that our abilities would be frightening to those who don't understand them. The Council has asked me to extend an invitation, Korath continued. They want a human delegation to visit the capital world, to begin formal integration into galactic society. Maria felt tears of relief running down her cheeks. After weeks of fearing that her discovery would doom humanity, it was instead opening doors to the stars. There's something else, Helen said. From the screen. The quantum storm you stopped today wasn't natural. Our scientists believe it was caused by an ancient weapon system left behind by a vanished civilization. If there are others like it, then the galaxy needs guardians who can stop them, Morrison finished. Exactly. The Volantium in human blood may be the only thing standing between civilization and chaos. Bobby Chun's voice came through the speakers. From the engine room. Captain, I'm reading massive energy signatures throughout this region of space. Whatever created that storm, there are more of them out there. Dr. Kevin Walsh looked up from his medical console. The crew's Volantium levels are still elevated, but they're stable. It's like the experience changed us somehow, made the element more integrated with our biology. We're evolving, Maria realized. Each time we use the Volantium, we become more capable of controlling it, more capable of protecting others. Amy Foster nodded in agreement. The quantum resonance created new neural pathways. We're literally becoming what the galaxy needs us to be. Tony Martinez suddenly called out from his station. Captain, I'm receiving transmissions from across the galaxy. Dozens of species are reporting quantum anomalies in their space. They're asking for human assistance. Morrison looked around his bridge at the crew that had started this journey as simple explorers. Now they were being asked to become something far greater, guardians of galactic civilization itself. Ambassador, Morrison said to Helen on the screen, tell the Council we accept their invitation. But we want more than just membership. We want to help. Help how? We want to organize a rapid response fleet. Humans and aliens working together to deal with quantum storms and other cosmic threats. Show the galaxy that cooperation is stronger than fear. General Korath's compound eyes glittered. The hegemony would be honored to contribute ships and personnel to such a fleet.